When asked about the richest country on earth, most people would say the UK, USA or Russia, or any other country with high standards of living as is shown in the movies, or any other country. But when they look at Google, they find that Ireland is one of the richest countries in the world. There is no doubt that it might come as a surprise for them, but over the last years, the Irish economy has had the most eye-watering growth numbers. So, how Ireland became one of the richest countries in the world? Well, that's what we're going to be finding out in today's video. Make sure to watch this video till the end. Ireland is the 5th richest economy measured by GDP per capita, below Luxembourg and Bermuda. Population-wise, it is smaller than New York. Although it is a tiny island, it has become a popular destination for international businesses such as Apple and Microsoft. But when you look at it historically, it has not always been this wealthy. In fact, from 1845 to 1849, Ireland suffered from mass starvation and disease during the Irish potato famine. More than 1 million people died of the famine, and more than 1 million fled the country. It significantly declined the population. This is why more Irish live in the US and overseas than in Ireland. But the question is, how did this tiny nation like Ireland transition from starvation to riches in the last 3 decades? Prior to becoming an independent country in 1922, Ireland was part of the British Empire, where Irish people were treated as second-class citizens. During the Great Depression, Irish people saw what free market economies like the United States were going through when Ireland gained independence from Britain in 1922. However, communist economies such as the Soviet Union experienced rapid industrial development. Apparently, the new Irish administration believes protectionist policies will be in their best interest. Therefore, Ireland started nationalizing and monopolizing its corporations. Additionally, the country banned most foreign investment and trade. As a result, Ireland imposed high tariffs on all imported goods in order to discourage imports from other countries. Apparently, the goal of this policy was to make Ireland a self-sufficient economy. The decision was a mistake because short-term protectionism may work. However, it can be devastating to the nation's economy in the long run. It is possible for protectionism to be effective in countries with a large population and abundant natural resources. But in countries like Ireland, which did not have both of them, eventually the Irish government realized that protectionist policies seldom work. With the goal of improving economic growth, the Irish government began encouraging foreign investment and lifting trade barriers in 1957. As a result of this, nationalized corporations were transformed into private companies so that they could compete in the private market and be more efficient. In order to attract multinational companies, the Irish government established a free economic zone outside Shannon Airport. Due to these economic policies, many international companies started setting up their European headquarters in Ireland. As an example, Apple established its headquarters in Ireland in 1980. However, none of these things improved the lives of Irish citizens, because companies merely set up offices in Ireland with some accountants instead of creating jobs. For tax reasons, they transfer their earnings to Ireland. Nevertheless, the one thing that improved their lives was when Ireland joined the European Union in 1973, which aided its economic growth. As time passed, however, things worsened again. In the 70s, the oil crisis worsened Ireland's economic situation, with unlimited government spending and a tax rate that reached as high as 50%. Ireland's economic crisis deteriorated further when unemployment reached 17% in 1987, and Irish people once again started migrating abroad for work. So, to solve these economic difficulties, the Irish government started a program called the Talit Strategy. In this program, all the political parties presented their economic reforms to solve the crisis. In order to get out of the crisis, the government cut spending and taxes. As a result, people spend and invest more, which improves the economy. As a result of these expansionary policies, Ireland's economy has forever changed. Due to Ireland's low tax rates, companies were coming here. However, the Irish government did not want multinational companies to set up their tax offices with few accountants. It wanted them to hire Irish people to improve Irish living standards. In the 80s, the Irish government asked, what are the obstacles foreign businesses face in hiring Irish workers? The reason for this was the labor legislation, which was so strict that corporations had difficulty hiring and terminating Irish employees. For this reason, the Irish government began liberalizing its labor laws and other policies to make it easier for businesses to hire. The policies soon showed results, with businesses employing Irish people and the economy improving. Many people called Ireland the Celtic Tiger during the 1990s and early 2000s due to its enormous growth. In fact, from 1995 to 2000, Ireland's economy grew at a consistent rate of 9 or 10%. During that time, it outpaced all other economies. Surprisingly, in 1980, corporate tax rates were 50%, one of the highest in the world. But in the early 2000s, corporate tax rates were just 12.5, one of the lowest in the world. The reduction in the tax rate encouraged many foreign businesses to settle in Ireland. Due to low taxes and low ECB interest rates, many Irish people were starting businesses that fueled the country's economic growth. However, things got serious in 2008 due to its interconnection with Europe and the United States. Ireland's economy was particularly affected by the global financial crisis of 2008. In Ireland, the financial crisis of 2008 was caused by the property bubble fueled by excessive lending by banks to consumers with low incomes. Banks thought property prices wouldn't go down much, so they held property as collateral. It didn't take long for the unexpected to happen, and property prices dropped 12.4% in 2008. During 2009, house prices fell by 18.6%. In big cities like Dublin, they were down 56%. As of January 2009, 326,000 people were living on unemployment benefits. It was the highest level since 1967. In addition, unemployment jumped from 6.5% in July 2008 to 14.8% in July 2012. So, to prevent financial institutions from falling, which would worsen the economy further, the Irish government sought help from the IMF and European Union. The rescue deal included $22.5 billion from the IMF, $22.5 billion from the European Union, and $17.5 billion from the Irish government. And as soon as the Irish economy recovered from the crisis in 2012, it started growing in 2013. However, it all came at a cost, with the government shutting down 41 government institutions and cutting civil servants' salaries by 14% to pay back loans. Ireland quickly recovered from the crisis, and economic growth came back in the economy. In 2015, Ireland reported a 25% growth rate. This alarms economists like Paul Krugman, who started investigating the real reasons for these huge growth numbers. Even China can't achieve 25% growth in a year, and many economists realize this is a myth. Krugman called this incident leprechaun economics. This growth rate was really caused by multinational companies like Apple and Microsoft, who were moving their profits to Ireland to avoid taxes. These are some instances when statistics do not reflect reality, such as this one. But according to IMF, 60% of Irish foreign direct investment is held in bank accounts. This growth was so surreal that in March 2018, the Irish Times published this: "Nobody believes our GDP numbers anymore. Not after a 26% jump in 2015, which was famously derided as leprechaun economics." Even the CSO cautions against viewing last year's 2017 7.8% jump as a reflection of real economic activity. As a result, Ireland uses a variety of metrics to track its economic growth, because classical economic metrics like GDP growth rate don't always reflect reality. You see, over the years, many multinational companies have taken advantage of Ireland's low taxes to create tax schemes, where they pay little or no taxes. But it had to change as Ireland is starting to increase its corporate tax rates from 12.5% to 15%. That makes people wonder if there is a slowdown in economic growth and international companies leave Ireland. Well, probably not. You see, attracting multinational companies is not as simple as lowering taxes. It took decades for these companies to invest hundreds of billions in Ireland to build the right infrastructure. So this makes it difficult for companies to find alternatives to Ireland. Plus, nobody knows Ireland is a powerhouse when it comes to airlines. Several multinational aircraft leasing companies operate in Ireland. In fact, Ireland manages nearly 22% of the fleet of aircraft worldwide, and a 40% share of the global fleet of leased aircraft. On top of that, it's one of the biggest exporters of pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and software. Today, the Irish economy is diversified, and even in the COVID crisis, it kept growing. The Irish economy went from being poor and third world to being highly advanced. Because of its stable economy and politics, Ireland became a European headquarters for international corporations. That's why people want to live here so badly. So, do you want to live in Ireland? Tell us in the comments. And that's it for today's video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more such videos like this. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified when we upload a new video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.